never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers. You better wake up for the pay stub, or you'll pay up. Don't make love to the game, bruh, fuck the game up. Change up, rearrange stuff to your greatness. Famous for the way up, play the game, bruh.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top, yeah.
You know I'm always honest, there ain't no way I'm ever stopping.
I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top,
I'm always flirting with pain, she like to hurt me and maim. I'm always working to change, but she's still lurking the same. I keep on building a dynasty while the haters be trying me. But they hate from inside, you see, hate themselves in society. So I let them speak quietly while my actions speak wider. See, they be hiding in privacy with the screen. Oh, the irony to hate someone who's trying to be whatever they would like to be. We all feel the anxiety, we make our own rivalries. Yo, so where is all the positivity? I feel like we all just hate on everything.
This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
Oh, you know it. It's that time. It's that time. It's 12 p.m. Cali time, Pacific Standard Time. Out here on the West Coast, a lot of daddy. Welcome to the party. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Value Wrestling. This is your weekly roundup. And I don't know why I always want to say rebound instead of roundup and roundup and rebound and get them all back and forth. Why that gets all stuck in my head. I know what we're doing. I know why we're here. Welcome to the party. We're going to bring you all the news and everything going on in the world of professional wrestling, from AEW to WWE to TNA to even New Japan Pro Wrestling. We're going to dance around the subject right there as Mr. Miguel Z will start his new show starting this Tuesday. It will get posted and we'll let you know from there. My mind just went blank. Yes, let's get into the introductions. Of course, you know the one, the only, the man who's a legend in his own mind, in his own time, in his own world. And of course, our New Japan Pro Wrestling expert, the Encyclopedia Britannica of New Japan, the one, the only. And of course, you know me, I'm the one, I'm the only, I'm the Big Tyme, and I'm in the house to get this show started. Welcome to the first weekly roundup of 2024. We wrapped up the last one at the end of the year. We gave you the best of the year, what we see going forward, what we thought was the best of the year. We talked about it all. We're here to dive deep in. Lots of stuff have happened. We've had Day 1 Raw, we had SmackDown do Your News, Your Evolution. We had some weird funky thing called Dynamite that was supposed to be a bash show. I don't know. And then Wrestle Kingdom set the wrestling world on fire. If you didn't watch, I don't know what to tell you. Of course, I didn't really watch it, but I was here to listen to our two-man bring you the Value of Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom 18 review show. We see where Nick Nemeth is going, possibly. Where is he going to show up? What is his partnership with New Japan Pro Wrestling? We're going to have to wait and see as we learn more there. That was big and exciting. The news and rumor mill are spinning hot and heavy. Mercedes Moné all over the back and forth playing ping pong. Is she AEW? Is she WWE? Some people say she's AEW. Some people say she's WWE. Maybe she's going to show up in TNA. Who knows? We're just going to have to really wait and see with that. But gentlemen, Mercedes Moné, she's trademarked some new sayings that are under the Moné era, not the name Mercedes Moné, but they have more to do with Mercedes Moné than maybe Sasha Banks' name. But Sasha Banks could definitely use them if she goes to WWE. But The news, the rumors, everything's going back and forth. She was in talks with WWE. The WWE talks fell apart. Then she was back in talks with AEW. A lot of commentators are jumping out there going, she is signed to AEW. She's going to show up. We thought she was going to show up on Wednesday because some of the bigger names in the industry, this game, whatever you want to call this, were like, oh no, it's intimate. She's going to show up. They were like ready to bet their house and mortgage it all on the fact that she was going to show up on Dynamite. We didn't get her showing up on Dynamite. We actually got Deonna Purrazzo showing up on Dynamite, which was good. I think Deonna Purrazzo
you said her name right.
was possibly in the right place. But we're going to move forward. Gentlemen, starting with you, Mr. Z, what do you feel about Mercedes Moné? What do you think about all the news and speculation and rumors? Do you think you have a thought where she might go? Do you have a thought of where she should go?
I mean, can I say this once? I mean, they did the same thing with CM Punk. They're trying to throw us off the scent. Let's be real here. I don't think she's going anywhere but going back to WWE. But, you know, my hands are tied. I if I was a fly on the wall, I'd love to be it, just so I know where she's going.
Mr. Clarke, your thoughts?
I'm not there, so it's like I don't even try to do that kind of speculation as far as where I think she's going, blah, blah, blah. Where I'd like to see her to go, that I can give you an opinion on.
Yes.
And personally, I'd like to do the left field thing here. I'd love to see her in TNA. We know what she can do in WWE, and there's new stars they need to be building. That, yes, she can give the rub to, and she'd definitely be helpful, don't get me wrong. She would do just fine there. But if you want to see something new, you actually have to put something new out there. With TNA, you would have so many fresh matchups.
Very true.
That not only would she be lifting a division, she'd be lifting the whole company.
Yes, if she really wanted to make a splash and feel like the CEO of the wrestling world, TNA may be the place to go since they're rebranding, brand new titles coming out. A refresh, a reset coming up on Saturday, January 3rd. TNA is back with Hard to Kill on a premium live event, not a pay-per-view anymore. It is a premium live event now that they are streaming under the new TNA Plus, streaming under the new agreement with Endeavor, big name of professional wrestling. But Mercedes Moné going to TNA would be a great option. I hope that's who Scott D'Amore is talking about. More than her going to AEW or her going to WWE, I would go TNA, WWE, and then if we had to, I'd rather her go back to New Japan Pro Wrestling even before going to AEW. At least if she's under contract with New Japan Pro Wrestling, she could show up on AEW, have some matches, but she'd be under, the safety of maybe a New Japan Pro Wrestling umbrella more than a Tony Khan pad booking. And Tony Khan can do all the booking for the women's division, make it feel important, which is very interesting. All of a sudden now he seems to be putting effort into this women's division. We're seeing them more regularly on TV. Julia Hart and Chris Statlander and Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale, these women feeling more important. Tony Storm, I know some people love that gimmick, but I think it is a dying gimmick. I think it's losing whatever momentum they had it at the start of the beginning. But we'll have to see how it plays out, and I don't know if I'm ready to see a Mercedes Moné.
Real quick, it also doesn't help that they're shooting themselves in the foot as far as the women of AEW, but I mean, that's for another conversation later.
You gotta give us a second. You gotta segue into things. You want to jump off the gun.
Sorry.
You wanna rush the pistol.
The last pay-per-view, they put the TBS title over the women's world title.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's how they're shooting themselves in the foot just on air.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, Tony Khan is definitely starting to book the women's division somewhat as important, but I can't figure out who's important. Like Julia Hart and Sky Blue are getting more TV time than any other of the women, so they feel a little more important than Tony Storm. They're trying to do something with Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale. I don't know if it's a Ring of Honor thing or if it's trying to be an AEW thing. I think
blended between the two.
You can't without more information, and you can't just start doing it out of the blue. Thank you very much. And you're taping, you own Ring of Honor, so you tape it, so I don't know why you don't give a tape preview of them teaming up and doing things or presenting that before you put them on TV in AEW so you can make that transition. But Tony Khan just assumes that we watch all of his great stuff because it's so great. It's great. It's wonderful. It's the best stuff ever. AEW.
Oh yeah. Well, real quick, I have people hit me up on X saying, "Hey, have you checked out, Athena? Look what they're doing with her." And I was like, "Well, where can I find it?"
Who?
I don't have the subscriptions. I mean, someone tell me what's going on here. I mean, if she's doing so great, why isn't she being promoted?
Well, we're not talking about Ring of Honor. Tony Khan never says Ring of Honor is doing great. He says AEW is great.
Exactly.
I don't know what to tell you then. But then you look at the women's division, and then they come out with the dumbest of tweets. Or not I mean, it's a mixed bag. You can either be big supporters of this or look at this and go, this is stupid. And I fall somewhere in this thing like, I think I know what they want to aim for, but I think they're blanket blaming the fans, which means you're saying not just the select fans, but you're just like going out there after all the fans and encompassing them all into one big bag and giving us all a bad name. And that's where I get a little offended, because it's like, I'm not the type to do that. Will I wait at the gate after a show? Sure, if there's a safe place to stand and try to ask wrestlers for autographs, yeah, I'll stand there and ask for autographs, but I'm not going to force myself. I'm not going to chase anybody. I'm not going to go, if I'm in a gym or if I'm in a restaurant and I see a wrestler there, I'm not one that's going to necessarily approach them unless I see that they're, finishing up, wrapping up, or done. And I would always say, excuse me, I don't mean to bother you, but is it okay to ask for an autograph? They say no, that's cool, that's fine. Now, I know there's some people who take this way too extreme, and you got paparazzi, jackass people out there who do dumb stuff. And I get all that, and I understand that, and it happens, and it is what it is. But I don't know what this women's division is with these stories. The first one was one thing. I think the first one was a little more of a punch, and the second one, I don't know. It's a hot mess, and I don't think it's a good look for AEW. I don't think it's a good look for the women's division to take them seriously. And I want to know why Saraya is starting this. Is this Saraya's move to a women's revolution AEW? I think the women in wrestling that are there. I think Julia Hart's amazing. I think Sky Blue is amazing. Chris Statlander's pretty talented. Tony Storm can be talented, just not necessarily a big fan of the gimmick. Sheeta can be really good. Not a big Riho fan. I don't know. Saraya, I'm sorry. You haven't been impressive since WWE. In WWE, you were impressive. You had it going, and there's going to be a cat coming across the screen, so please forgive me. This is what happens when you're live and you have animals. They do what they want. Get out of my coffee. That doesn't belong to you, and we don't want to see cat. We don't want to see cat butt on internet. Thank you very much.
Just showing off the tails.
But it's crazy to think that here we are, and do you want to do something because you're messing up something? Yes, it's my coffee. Anyways, gentlemen, your thoughts? I'm being distracted. We'll start with Mr. Clarke on the women's division AEW. These vignettes. And there goes the cat. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Over the camera. At least that camera's for you guys. I have two different cameras, so the camera shot you saw is a little different than the camera shot the audience saw. So.
Oh God, this is such a bad look for the women of AEW. It's like if you want merit, then base it on merit. It's that simple. If the person you should be mad at with all these little punches is your booker, is your AEW owner, Tony Khan, who's not booking you right.
The owner, the president.
Fans who are trained by the booking. So just like back in the day when WWE had their divas and it was all divas matches, is that the fans' fault for only looking at them as eye candy, or was it Vince McMahon's who presented them only as eye candy? You're getting mad at the wrong people.
Yeah.
Now, here's my question.
My outrage comes from out of that. Because, again, you being in the business know this, but you still want to tack the responsibility on someone else. That makes no bloody sense.
Now, my one question is, one of the girls, I don't remember who it was complaining about unsolicited dick pics. And unsolicited dick pics just shouldn't happen, period. But we're in a new era and genre where I guess that's a thing. But I'm like, how do you get unsolicited dick pics? I guess if your DMs are open, but I'm like going...
That seems to be a female problem in general, not just because you're a female wrestler.
Yeah.
Right.
Women in general complain about that, and then they deal with it accordingly. You have a nice little button called block.
Yes, exactly. I don't know what that issue is. I get it. Unsolicited dick pics just don't need to happen, period. I don't, it's
Agreed.
Retarded, don't need to do it. But that was interesting because I don't think that really has to do with anything about female wrestlers. That's just general ignorancy of the world we're in today. And then, I love Sky Blue. I think Sky Blue is talented, and she's a very pretty young lady to look at. And she's very beautiful. And you can't, we can't totally knock, like, she's very beautiful. She's very attractive, and she's very talented in the ring. But her whole statement, nobody recognizes me without pants, and it's kind of like, is that really how you feel?
You choose to put on. Tony Khan doesn't even choose that. That's you. I'm sorry. That's what you choose.
Your gear.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Mr. Z, your thoughts on this?
Well, first and foremost, like you said, if we come across, if back in the day when we'd see wrestlers, we'd find an area with, behind the building, we'd see them come out, they have a quick second. Hey, excuse me, do you have time? If not, you move on with your life. Right?
I didn't know where you were going there for a second, because you said you find the wrestlers and go behind the building. I'm like going,
Yeah, I get it. No, I get it. But
your words there just kind of like, I'm going, where are we going?
A safe place to ask kindly. There's meet and greets. There's,
yeah.
I mean, Paul, you've been with me to any shows, and they have set times for autographs and pictures. I just don't understand why there's a subset of fans you need to attack, but you're blanking, like you said, everybody. I'm sorry, I'm not going to an airport at 2 a.m. I'm not stuck in a hotel lobby at midnight. We just came out after their Vegas show and had a blanket statement saying, hey, look, you harass our wrestlers, we're kicking you out of the building. I don't know what happened in Vegas. I would like to know what happened, why there was a statement like that made. But, I'm not the higher ups.
Well, and I look at it this way. If you're sitting at an airport because, the wrestlers are coming in, I mean, if you really got no life that you can sit there and know where they're going to be, what time their flights come in, what day they're coming in, and be at the airport sitting there, you're in damn bad shape with your life, because I don't even have the energy or the time to go sit in an airport when the wrestlers are coming in town, and you're like, why? Now, granted, if I was in the airport on a flight to go somewhere and I happened to see a wrestler in passing, it was like, hey, can I get an autograph? Or, if they were up and moving, if I saw them over in the corner and sleeping or, trying to hide, I'm probably not going to approach them, because I can see from their body language, from what they are putting out into the universe, that they don't want to be bothered. They want to be as John Cena, can't see me as they can be. So,
absolutely.
That's one thing. Now, back in the day, when I went to shows, I mean, the wrestlers were usually there. You could go out and sign them. When I took my son to a SmackDown taping in Oklahoma, we got to meet Sheamus at a meet and greet, because we followed that. Then afterwards, we stood back by the gates where they were exiting. And as they were coming out to their cars, everybody would shout their name. They would come over. Someone would come over and sign. Someone would wave and move on. And, of course, these wrestlers also have to understand they are in an entertainment business. They're in a very they're on TV. They are going to be part of the culture of society. So they're going to be known. They are going to get, fans asking for autographs. Now, there's the infamous story that I know Brock Lesnar told about the little kid who was overimpressed with him, followed him into the bathroom, and Brock Lesnar went off on the kid because, so there's a fine line. If you're in an area and these wrestlers are at the gym, be respectful. If they're working out and they're doing their thing, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong. Like, I've walked up to guys when WCW had their Nitro Bar and Grill in Vegas. There was a couple wrestlers there that were eating, and I saw that they were kind of winding down. I walked over and go, "Can I get an autograph? I'm sorry to." Hope this is an appropriate time. And they were totally cool. Most wrestlers are pretty cool if you approach them with a respectful nature, and not, why they got a bite of food in their mouth. Not why they're totally working out. Not why they're pissing in the urinal next to you. CM Punk story there. Common sense.
I got one for you. Last year's Battle in the Valley, the line to CM Punk when he showed up, it looked like a convention line. And I'm like, bro, he's not there for autographs. He's there to watch a show and plant seeds of where he might end up. This is before he ended up back on AEW television.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But there's a respectful way, and I think I don't get the women. They just feel like it's an attack, and I'm kind of like, is it necessary? Like, if there's a grievance or this issue, it's address it in a way that's beneficial, that you don't blanket all the fans who would come at you, and be respectful in the right way. Now, Soraya,
here's my problem. Or not my problem, but here's my fear. Excuse me. If they keep these videos up and make the whole division look bad and keep attacking the fans, they're going to get blowback the way Ronda Rousey did when she attacked the fans.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that is true. That is very true. If you start attacking your fans or turning against your fans, the fans are going to turn against you. And that's what hurt Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey got mad and went off on the fans. And so we'll have to wait and see. I mean, we support women's wrestling. We love to see women's wrestling AEW get better and become better. We want to see women's wrestling WWE get better. We know TNA has one of the best women's divisions in professional wrestling. We love women's professional wrestling for what it is in the ring. And then outside this ring, yes, if I got the chance to meet Sky Blue, it was appropriate interaction, time for the interaction, I would say, hey, can I get an autograph? Hi, can I take a picture? Simple. So yes, there's got to be accountability on the fans that are out there doing the inappropriate things or taking it to the extreme or stalking or breaking into wrestlers' houses or all these other crazy things that we hear about that are just like, stop.
Oh my goodness!
But there is society out there, and
subset of
can't
fans.
control.
Let's be a little more respectful, folks. Let's stop giving the rest of the fans a bad name. Let's grow up here, folks, just a little bit.
Exactly. Oh, moving on, since we're still talking about women, let's talk about inappropriateness, harassment, and the safest place in professional wrestling being AEW. So the story goes on, and the story goes on. Chris Jericho, this thing goes nuts because we go all the way back to when Stephen P. News did a podcast with Rip Rogers on the Rip Rogers podcast where they talked about the NDAs that Ace Steel and CM Punk signed, that they were lifetime NDAs, and that everybody who was involved in the situation signed an NDA. And then Chris Jericho decides on Christmas morning at 4 a.m. to go on a Twitter rant or an X rant or whatever we're calling it these days. Who knows? Who cares? But well, we don't know what he may have been under or not under the influence. We're gonna walk a line here. But anyways, he went out after attacking Stephen P. News, saying that because the story was basically Ace Steel and CM Punk are signed NDAs. Everybody else involved signed the NDAs. The only person that didn't get interviewed by the committee that did all the trying to figure out the brawl out, and the only person who never had to sign an NDA was Lucy, Ace Steel's wife. She's free and clear to speak. I think Larry never signed one, so Larry probably never signed an NDA, so I'm sure he's free and clear to speak about this. But she's free and clear. Well, Jericho decides at 4 a.m. on Christmas morning of all days to go off on Stephen P. News about protecting Jericho and Steel and his fans and dreams and whatever, because he never signed an NDA. He's never signed an NDA in his life. He says he was there, which makes me ponder, how is that possible? If everybody else that was involved that saw this, that had to speak with this committee, signed an NDA, and you were there and saw it all, in his words, he saw all of it, how he hasn't been signed to an NDA, how he wasn't a part of this investigation, and what was he doing when he was, was he just standing there watching this? Was he peeking in the locker room? It really sounds bad because he's like, I thought all of it. So why weren't you trying to stop it? Why weren't you doing something to de-escalate the situation and standing there instead of standing there like a creepo maybe? Anyways, this led to people like Nick Hausman and other people speculating and putting out rumors in the windows that there's skeletons in Jericho's closet, that Jericho's probably signed an NDA. Another situation came out where a situation happened when Kylie Ray was part of AEW, that she was with Chris Jericho or others in some type of thing, and she was told to go to Jericho's hotel room afterwards, and that there would be other people in there or be there, or this whatever meeting or grouping or whatever they were doing was going to continue at his hotel room. She went to his hotel room. Jericho was the only one there by himself. And something may not have happened. Something went down or may not have went down. We really don't know. But it made Kylie Ray so uncomfortable that she left. And then shortly after this, she talked to Tony Khan, requested a release from a company that was the hottest company in professional wrestling. She was a big name that was going to get a big push in AEW, which makes a lot of people go, why would you leave the biggest, hottest company at that time if something didn't happen? It doesn't make sense just to up and leave. But she left. She got out of their contract, and from what I understand, she had to sign an NDA before she was released from the company per Tony Khan. And so Now we have the speculation rumor. Now, if you go to World's End, Tony Khan was asked 3 times. One time he was wearing that stupid hat and sunglasses and looked like a buffoon and looked totally unprofessional. He looked like a fanboy more than a president or a boss. So it's like, you know, I get that Tony Storm put it all on him, but at some point, it's like you take it off, you get back to your press conference, being a boss, being the representative piece of the company, because that's who you want to be. Don't want to be an on-air talent, but you want to be the face of the scrum. You want to be the voice there, so you need to look that part. Anyways, he says he's not going to speak about rumors, and then he goes on to a tangent about we are the safest place in wrestling, that he's safer than any other wrestling company out there. They have the safest track record, blah, blah, blah. A very blanket safe, not safe from sexual harassment or harassment of any kind. Just they're the safest company, which makes Tony Khan a buffoon and a liar too, because, well, we know about Brawl Out. We know about the CM Punk Jack Perry situation where Tony Khan out there 4 months ago saying he felt like his life was in complete danger. And now we're at the point where it's like Jericho, well, I mean, he got booed heavily. It hurt the match at World's End because Jericho got so booed. And then Powerhouse Hobbs was getting cheered when he attacked Jericho. It took away from Sting's moments in ways. It was just shady. And now we're rebuilding with Jericho and Sammy Guevara, Les Sex Gods. And now they're hiding them on Rampage to get a title match at the Battle of the Belts 9 on January 13th, going head-to-head with TNA's return. Hard to kill, but yes, they're going to get a title shot. I don't think it's a good look for the company. Again, I'm going to stand by my word. I think Chris Jericho needs to go off TV for a while until this all simmers down or something comes out about it. But why can't Tony Khan or Chris Jericho just come out and say these rumors are unfounded? If they haven't signed an NDA, if there's nothing from them stopping, why wouldn't you squash these rumors right now? And when you don't say nothing, I think it says more. Now, I know sometimes people say, well, if you don't say anything at all, it'll just blow over and go away. I don't think this situation is going to happen like this.
We're in an era now where it just does not blow over anymore. The era is different. We have social media now. We have more outlets than what we did once before, where when time would go by and it'd blow over. Now it's everywhere and it's reappearing every day. So the best thing he could have done, and honestly, this is my opinion, folks, my opinion, is Jericho off TV for a little bit. Or say so, or at least in his saying, come out and apologize. Say something didn't happen. Say something, if there's nothing happens, just say it. But other than that, that's my opinion though.
Yeah,
everyone else might have a different one.
And I think it's very interesting that all of a sudden Jericho wasn't on Dynamite, but we hit him and Sammy Guevara challenging for the tag team titles on Rampage, which is the least watched show of all of AEW TV. So it's very interesting that it seems like Tony Khan knows, okay, I don't need to put him out there big way, but we're going to put him over here where, maybe people won't get so mad or there won't be so much of a ruckus. I don't know. Mr. Clarke?
And if you don't understand the power of the internet and the power of social media, it's because of social media that Jay Briscoe was not allowed on AEW TV. Because of things, 10 years prior?
10 years.
So, whatever is happening with Jericho, he needs to figure it out, what he wants to do about it, and Tony Khan needs to execute what is best for his company and not just stay quiet. Because look what staying quiet has done with All Brawl In.
Well,
staying quiet, you can sign all your NDAs. You can say nothing to the audience. The audience is still going to talk about it. And it's still going to blow up in your face.
And I have to agree with Jim Cornette at Brawl Out, the original big issue. The whole mess, if they would have just came out and told the story, I think everybody would have been happier. You would have moved on and wouldn't have put AEW in such a bad shade. But it's like AEW is constantly concerning this in controversy. And it's going to kill the company if they can't get some direction because people are going to get tired of the bullcrap. We went through the Punk stuff. And now, even as we go along, the more we see of some of the stuff that's gone on with AEW without Punk there, AEW makes themselves look bad. It makes Punk go, well, maybe Punk wasn't lying to us. Maybe Punk was telling us the truth. Maybe Punk has some validity to all his complaints because we're seeing this garbage that go down just constantly. The AEW women's not making themselves look any better. And Jericho has this situation. Nobody wants to speak on it. Tony Khan was asked, was there ever an investigation done into this situation? And it's not that they're denying there was ever... they're not denying anything. They're not denying there was a claim. They're not denying there was anything done. They're just not talking about it. And I know this is Tony Khan's keep the peace, just make everybody happy. Let's not talk about it and pretend that nothing went on. And that's the other thing. If there is something true to this, with Kylie Ray or anybody else who comes up, and Tony Khan knew about it and covered it up by releasing a Kylie Ray and making her sign an NDA to keep her quiet so his company didn't look bad, because we are talking about 2019, 2020 when AEW was first getting its feet under itself, that this incident happened. This could really land a black eye on AEW, because this is going to make Tony look like the bad guy also, because it's going to look like a cover-up. And the fact of Tony Khan being so vocal about the crap Vince McMahon pulled and putting himself out there, Tony's got to be real careful with this situation. And I don't know why he's not addressing it head on. And I don't know why Tony Khan didn't go, look, we don't know about, we're not going to speculate on rumors, granted, but we are going to start an investigation. Why wouldn't he have said, I have a team of people looking into it, and we're going to go forward? No, his claim was, we have the safest record, and if something came up to me, I'd take it to the disciplinary committee. And I'm like, yay, okay, that's what we need. But he wants to rave about his safety of his company in a blanket statement. He doesn't say safe from harassment. He says we're the safest company in wrestling. We're the safest company ever. We are safer than safe. Tony Khan has been marked safe from safety. That is for sure. But I don't know. I mean, and I agree.
Hey, he wants to say we're the safest company. I mean, that track record speaks for itself. How many guys have gotten injured?
Well, even
on live TV,
even without taking the in-ring action, because we can say the in-ring action, you have wrestling. It happens. People are going to get hurt. It is an entertainment. It is a sport. Yes, it can be scripted at times, but the action in the ring happens. People can get hurt. That part of that whole dynamic is real. But the fact of the matter that, they have people who are constantly getting hurt. Tony Khan's disable list is lengthy constantly, and it's usually some of the biggest name stars in the company. One of his biggest storylines right now is being led by a man who can't wrestle because he's in a boot, and we don't know if it's going to be 6 or 9 months going into wrestling.
Yep.
And speaking of the booted man and the biggest storyline AEW's got going on, let's jump right into the Devil. Yes, the Devil was revealed. The whole shenanigan was revealed. And the story, to me, fell flat. Even the Dynamite follow-up was flat. It didn't make sense. And there's points pointed out. MJF's gone. MJF is not on the homepage. His merchandise is not being... He's not on the roster page. His merchandise is not up being sold. Tony Khan even came up and goes, yeah, we love MJF. We hope that, he'll be back under a new contract. Tony Khan trying to play into the storyline. I think it's dumb if he's already signed. Like, why even say anything about it? Anyways, so you don't even have MJF there to continue the storyline. We don't know how long MJF is going to be gone to continue the storyline. The leader of this group, Adam Cole, who is the Devil now, is in a boot, so he can't wrestle. So it's kind of like you can't take that seriously. The other 3 buffoons of the Kingdom, Roderick Strong, Matt Taven, and Mike Bennett, have all been used as comedy characters for so long on AEW. It's like, how do you even take them seriously in a group that should be feeling a more of a serious group? And then you got Wardlow, who was off TV forever and then suddenly makes a comeback looking like he puts Chia grow in his hair because it grows wild and floofy. And then they bury him on Dynamite, guy going, oh yeah, he's going to win the world title, and then he's going to give it to Adam Cole. And you're like, haven't we been down this road with Wardlow? I mean, is Wardlow just stupid? I mean, the validity behind this thing fell flat. It's starting to smell like hot garbage already, just because it's nothing. And of course, the new group name, they couldn't be just the Kingdom. They had to be the Undisputed Kingdom. And there doesn't feel anything undisputed about them. And when you look at their Tritron, it says Undisputed, which is, to me, it's like, maybe it's Adam Cole's thought, but I'm like, how do you call yourself undisputed when you don't feel undisputed? And if you hear undisputed, what does everybody think about? Gentlemen, if I say undisputed, what's the first word that comes to mind?
Era.
Or NXT or WWE, right?
Right. Anything associated with that, because that's where it was born.
So I don't know why Tony would allow anything to be called with at least Adam Cole be undisputed, because you're instantly going, oh yeah, NXT back goal, WWE, the best stable, and where Adam Cole looked like the best heel. But now I don't even know if I can take Adam Cole seriously as a heel. I know he can get it over with his promos and his work eventually, but I'm also like, I'm disinvested, and I think a lot of people are, because it just, the reveal was not what we thought. The way, you went from MJF losing in a very weird, very confusing situation to a reveal. You had Adam Cole in the ring going, it's okay, MJF, they still love you. He's supporting MJF just to have the Devil's goons jump in and hold them both back, and then they're fighting, no, hit me, no, hit me, no, hit me. And then you cut the lights off and Adam Cole's the Devil. It didn't have that impact of a sting that Adam Cole had really turned on MJF. It was just kind of like, MJF tried to sell the shit out of it. I just don't think it got over. I don't feel it. I'm like, it's going to be hard to watch AEW and watch the storyline, because we don't know how long it's going to have to be kind of like on this lingering pause. I guess we're going to have to do our Cranberries version of Let It Linger.
Oh, jeez.
Mr. Clarke, your thoughts on this mess?
See, you keep saying that the storyline fell flat. I have a more particular word. The explanation that Adam Cole gave was weak. It didn't add anything to the story. And that's also what hurts it. These are all things we constantly guessed who the henchman could be, why it would be Adam Cole, etc., etc. They didn't add anything to the story to make it continue to be interesting. It was weak. That is the biggest problem to me about this whole story.
Well, and I think the other fact, look, Samoa Joe, which is great. Samoa Joe is great. Go ahead.
Even if Adam Cole could wrestle right now, the explanation is so weak it doesn't matter. And yes, giving the title to Samoa Joe allegedly was always the plan. Which, hey, I love Joe. I am very happy that Joe is the AEW World Champion.
No,
this pleasure of working together just to give the belt to Joe, so that means that Adam Cole doesn't want the belt at this point in time. I mean, granted, yes, he's injured. But again, let's say that everything went to plan and he wasn't injured. We probably still would have got something similar. Just to attempt to throw us off the scent. And it's like, it's weak.
I don't know. I mean, giving the title to Joe, but do you know that I guess we're going to get Wardlow versus Joe, which we've already seen before, because Wardlow is going to carry the title for an injured Adam Cole. Is the supposed sword. But the weird thing about all this is Joe worked with the Devil, turned his back on MJF just prior to all this. And then we go into World's End where Joe wins the title, but the Devil and his goons don't have any play in costing MJF the title. Joe beat him clean. To his submission, kind of wonky. Like, when you watch it, and the ref's like, the bell didn't ring, and then the ref's kind of standing there, and the ref goes, ring the bell. You took your audience out of that right there. That killed a lot of the momentum. And in the reveal, and we talk about, people talk about the arena went silent when Bruno Sammartino lost his title, that the audience just went dead silent. They didn't know how to react. But that has some more to do with Bruno Sammartino was built up as the hero, as the guy, and people were just in awe of like, what? Here, it just fell flat because nobody really cared, and it didn't make sense. Joe's winning, and then Joe didn't even get a moment to celebrate with the ring. He picked up the belt, held it, and rolled out of the ring, and we got right into a Devil reveal, and it's like, why didn't Adam Cole, why did you have Adam Cole throw in the towel? That would have been a better ending. If Joe would have had MJF in that sleeper holding, and Adam Cole pulled out a towel and threw it in there, and then you could have had the moment where Adam Cole was trying to I had to do it, and then you go into it, at least the impact would have felt like there's the turn. It makes sense. He actually threw the towel on purpose, but here we got a wonky ending. We got a weird reveal because Adam Cole's still trying to breathe. And I don't get why they had I'm sorry, I know it's not that bad. Like, it was like, I'm still your friend. And then it's like, okay, no, I've been screwing you over the whole time. It just, nah.
On paper, I could see where they were going with it, but the execution was weak.
Mr. Z, your thought?
Just from the beginning alone, the whole Devil thing was stagnant and flat.
Well,
then they went about. It started. It had some kind of momentum at first, had everyone guessing, and then as time progressed, it just fell flat. And even with the ending of that match, we still, MJF passing out to the sleeper, his arm got dropped 3 times, and then you had the reveal.
And then you had
confused.
Then you had the Dynamite fallout, which was even more confusing because Adam Cole. You opened the show with Adam Cole. We got right to it. We thought we were going to get something to bite into, and we didn't. We didn't. Not from Adam Cole. We got the recognition of the Undisputed Kingdom, and you're just like, why not just be the Kingdom? Just because you added Wardlow to the group.
And Roddy.
Roddy wasn't a part of the original Kingdom.
No.
Okay.
No.
And of course, you still have Roddy playing the gimmick character. Adam, he does that, introducing Adam. You're just like, okay, well, I can't take you seriously and feel like you're a threat if you're still doing that crap. If they're still going to be the comedy goofy guys of this group, and Adam Cole's supposed to be the serious champion, and Wardlow's supposed to be Beastman, and I'm like, no, I don't buy it. And then after that, you
brought up real quick. You brought up he's going to hand the title to me after he wins it.
Yeah.
Now, call me crazy, but didn't we just see a briefcase get handed over for a title shot somewhere on the same night that there was one? Made the guy look like a complete joke.
That wasn't a briefcase; it was a contract on that show. But yes,
but you get what I'm saying. Like,
wow.
It's been done. Think of something different. Jeez, Tony.
They kind of made in
more like Ted DiBiase handing Andre the Giant handing the title to DiBiase.
Yeah, but at least that made sense because DiBiase paid him off.
Yeah.
At least we have a better reason. God, isn't that sad? In this one night, we had a bad ending to the main event, and then we had Adam Copeland look like a complete moron. Now that Adam Copeland won and lost the title, he's not even worried about Christian. He's worried about having the Copeland Open, or the Cope Challenge, or the Cope Open is what it's called, and he's fighting Griff Garrison on TV. How the mighty fall so quickly in AEW, but they made him look like an idiot. I mean, Edge is gone, but Adam Copeland hasn't even. I mean, he's flat. And then even on Dynamite, after we get the big, now we get Jay White, who's been in the Continental Classic for the last 2 months, because the Devil story happened about 3 months ago, died, came back in a month later, and then died, and came back. Now Jay White wants redemption on the Devil, and he comes out and gets jumped, but they get jumped, and then the Acclaim come out, and they jump, and it's just all more confusing. So now we're going to have 2 heel factions. Are we going to have Bullet Club versus the Undisputed Kingdom? Are we going to have 2 heel factions? And
Well, it's even like if they executed right, though.
Like, you have to do it right, but here's the thing too.
The wrestling would
the Acclaim come out and help Bullet Club Gold. Bullet Club Gold's supposed to be a heel faction. The Acclaim are your 6-man tag team champions right now.
Yeah, your trios, but yes.
And they want to scissor Jay White. It made no sense.
Are the Acclaim still the trios champions? They didn't even come out with the belt. So
yes,
I didn't realize that. But here's the other thing. Are we supposed to forget Bullet Club and the Guns and the Acclaimed and all that history that's gone back and forth and just be like, okay, the Acclaim are just the helpers. They're just the good guys. They're going to come out and help out everybody. Yes, you can say Daddy Ass is there and he wants to help his boys, but then he turned on his boy. I mean, it's just like the wrestling.
Do it under the idea of the enemy of my enemy. However, you still have to pull it off right.
Yeah.
And they haven't.
Yeah. Now, the wrestling match between the Bullet Club and the Undisputed Era, or the Undisputed Kingdom, my bad, would be fine. But the storyline, I don't think I could get into because I'm like, why do I want to see these 2 guys fight?
Giving us something to bite onto.
Plus, why does Jay White get to open up 2 months later? Oh, now that you revealed yourself, now I want your ass. That's where Jay White got buried. I know he was in the tournament, but I would have still had him interviewing, going, whoever this devil is, I'm coming after you. I would have still had him doing something to hunt this devil down, or figure it out with his own guys why he had Roddick Strong and everybody over here. Why, because, I mean, bad booking, Tony Khan.
That's, I was going to say, that's Tony 101, brother.
Well, let's turn the floor over to Mr. Z, our Encyclopedia Britannica of New Japan Pro Wrestling, sir. You had the Wrestle Kingdom 18 review show with Mr. Clarke. You guys had a wonderful show. You did really good. You had that. But what else is going on in New Japan Pro Wrestling? What can people expect that you're going to really give them on Tuesday? Give us a little sneak peek on what you're headed forward.
All right. So Tuesday, we are going to have the results from New Year's Dash where they did crown a KOPW champion. I will review that result.
What is that?
The King of Pro Wrestling provisional belt.
You got to remember, not everybody knows New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Right. The King of Pro Wrestling provisional belt. We've seen that the Final Four was supposed to wrestle at New Year's Dash. I will give that result, and it will be given to you people. You'll find out when everyone else does. We are gearing for next Saturday in San Jose, Battle in the Valley. Big news coming out of that.
Who's showing up?
First, we'll go with Eddie Kingston will be defending the Continental title to Gabe Kidd.
Continental Crown. And it's the North American Triple,
whatever you call it.
It's the North American Triple Crown, Continental Crown Championship. Yeah, it's all three belts.
And then your main event for that will be Kazuchika Okada and Will Ospreay. But big news, folks, and I know, Brad, you're going to love this. Matt Riddle will be making his debut in New Japan Pro.
Gotta be swift like that, Miguel. Gotta get in there before he gets a chance to.
Yes, I did. But what's another one? There's another big match. We're gonna get a rematch for the strong openweight, the tag team titles. El Phantasmo Hikuleo against Bullet Club War Dogs, Alex Conklin, Clark Connors. Paul, we've seen a big match before. I'm looking forward to this rematch.
Oh, hell yes. Yes.
And then one more to spot off. 6-man tag action. I'm not gonna name who we got. Tom Lawler, Royce Isaacs, and Nelson of Team Filthy against Shota Umino, Mr. No Days Off, Fred Rosser, and the debut of the Samoan werewolf, Jacob Fatu. I'm looking forward to that one. I haven't seen Fatu live. I haven't seen him live before, so this is a big one for me.
Oh, that's going to be nice.
There seems to be several of the outer bloodline, as we'll call them, to be on kind of a free agent. They're not really signed anywhere. It's very interesting that we can talk about Jacob Fatu still kind of figuring out where he's really going to be. Tama Tonga saying he's going to be a free agent, and I believe there's another one that's out there that's Zilla. Not necessarily. Yeah, Zilla. They're all kind of free agents. Very interesting as we get closer to WrestleMania what this extended bloodline possibly could be. And they all have the perfect story. I mean, they could all walk in and be on a main event scale picture, whether they join Roman or they're going to overthrow Roman and become the new bloodline. Or they can all come in and support Solo and let Solo become it. Who knows?
Well, I mean, you got to figure the ones that are coming in are, as Jacob Fatu said on Twitter, gangsta origin of the bloodline.
That's fine. I just want to see it because I think there's a lot of talent there, and you can really progress a storyline that gives Roman and Solo Sikoa something to do after Roman loses his title. That's just not The Rock. Of course, I think they're going to do The Rock before that. Mr. Clarke, you have any?
Yeah, that'll be.
Okay, go ahead.
That'll be what I'll drop on. That'll be what's being dropped on Tuesday. We'll talk more about it then. But yes, you will catch it here on YouTube, folks. We are moving from Spotify to YouTube.
All right, Mr. Clarke, what do you have for us on the Clarke Report tonight, today, this afternoon, whatever this moment is?
You insist on calling my segment that. Does this look like a 900 number?
Ding bong, ding dong, hits don't go I.
There's your opener.
You know what? Just for that, we should talk about a video that we did see on New Year's Dash. You know, we had a nice pair of flip-flops. We had a nice suit on.
I don't think I made him happy with that one, but I had to get him.
Acknowledge me. Yeah.
So what do you got for us this afternoon?
Unfortunately, I have the sad distinction of saying I really, with other things that have been going on in my life, I really didn't have a segment really pulled together. I'm looking at the news and I'm like, there's nothing really.
Yeah, there's not really a whole lot out there.
Outside of what we've talked about earlier.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to make sure you had your chance. If you had anything you wanted to throw out there to, add to anything before we moved on and before we really
I think my biggest passion was what we talked about earlier about Saraya and her bringing up the women's issues.
Yeah.
We'll call it.
Well, it was an interesting week of wrestling. We're moving into a bigger week of wrestling. We know Raw is still going to be very big. We're building in. We know Roman screwed up on SmackDown, and now he has a 4-way dance at the Rumble, which makes that way more interesting. A lot of speculation that Roman is going to lose the title. They have definitely twisted that where there's a possibility. Do I think they pulled the trigger? No. I think we know what the story is. We know how it's going to go. If you're buying into Roman versus The Rock at WrestleMania, unless Roman drops the title at Rumble, I don't see it. It's going to be The Rock, or it's going to be Roman and Cody at WrestleMania. Believe that. CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. But the unpredictability is getting back there, and that's the good thing about WWE. AEW, it's somewhat unpredictable because we just don't know what Tony Khan's booking. It's not because we can follow the story and not go, oh, well, this guy win or this guy could win. Tony Khan's weird booking anyways.
We said it before. This is the first year Royal Rumble. We're not really sure who's going to win it.
It's the first one in a long time that there's several people that are in this thing that could possibly take it. We have a strong opinion, yes, but there's a lot of options out there. It's going to be interesting, and we will be here to cover that on Saturday. I believe it's January 27th. Don't quote me on that at the moment. I'm just talking off the top of my head. But we'll be here to cover that live. And, of course, this Saturday, I think we're all going to sit down and we're going to watch TNA Hard to Kill. We're going to see what happens when worlds collide. What does that mean? Who's going to show up? We don't know. We're going to figure that out.
Who's the biggest signing?
Who's the biggest signing in TNA's history? That's a big name. So we're going to talk more. So there may be a TNA Hard to Kill review show afterwards, depending on how that went and how excited or not excited we are about it. We may be here to cover that, but we will be here tomorrow night because today's Sunday, Mr. Clarke. Tomorrow will be Monday, where we have another show called a Raw Review. So, mark your calendar, set your alarm. But we'll be back tomorrow night with your Monday night review. We'll break down everything going on Monday night. We know CM Punk's going to be there. We got the fallout from day one. A lot of stuff going on. Damian Priest not able to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase. What is going on with Drew McIntyre? How does he feel after not accomplishing and beating Seth Rollins and winning that WWE World Championship? What are we going to talk about? We're going to hear more from Cody and Shinsuke Nakamura as they go one-on-one again. So we'll see how that story plays and where that goes. Lots of stuff happening. Dynamite this week. I don't think there's anything majorly to report except the possibility, again, circulating interwebbies. Mercedes Moné might be on Dynamite this week if she's signed with AEW. Who knows? She might shine up at Battle of the Belts. That may be the only place that I could see her coming if AEW signed her, because Battle of the Belts will be on January 13th. It'll be Battle of the Belts 9. It's going to go head-to-head against TNA Hard to Kill. So yeah, Tony Khan's going to try and fight the rebirth of TNA.
As far as AEW Dynamite, the only thing I'm looking forward to is if they have any creative for Wifey, for Deonna Purrazzo.
Well, I think they're going to continue her direction with Mariah May. It looks like that's who they're going to put together, right. Them two to dance, and we're going to have to see how that plays out. And that may be the only thing that keeps Mr. Clarke interested in AEW is that Wifey's on that program, because everything else may simply get tuned out. But I'll guarantee you this, he won't fall asleep for that segment of the show. Ladies and gentlemen.
And then, like I said, Saturday I will be at Battle in the Valley. So we'll.
If you're in the California area, you're going to Battle of the Valley, make sure you look out for one Mr. Miguel Z. He is the Encyclopedia Britannica for New Japan Pro Wrestling when it comes to the value of wrestling. He's going to be there live and in person. He's going to be attending that show. And he has a bracelet that he has all of the links you can click on, or you can use your phone to scan it and quickly connect to the Value of Wrestling on YouTube and all the other links that connect us through social media, so you can interact with us in one way or another. That is it. There's no big wrestling coming through town. San Jose, I think there's a Raw coming to San Jose, but the tickets are outrageous for that.
Yeah.
But we're boiling up for Royal Rumble, and we can't wait to see what happens there, and hopefully we can get more information. But again, Monday, we'll be back with the Monday Night Raw. Me and Mr. Clarke will do a review show after Monday Night Raw, so around 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tuesdays, Mr. Miguel Z will be here with your first official New Japan Pro Wrestling rebound. He will be here to break down everything going on in New Japan, and that will be continuing going on every Tuesday. Wednesday will be a Dynamite review. Friday will be a SmackDown review. There will be other stuff filled in. If there's some breaking news, we will bring that to you. So make sure you ring that bell for notifications. Go ahead and give this video a like. And share this video out with all your friends, family, and everybody that you know loves professional wrestling. If you're watching this later, go ahead and drop a comment down below. Share your opinion, share your thoughts. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? We see that about 50% of the people think other shows were better than Raw, SmackDown, or Dynamite. We get a split between Dynamite and Raw at 25%. I guess other shows might have been Wrestle Kingdom from this past week. May have been the best show in professional wrestling. Wrestle Kingdom might have already set the standard for 2024, but that might get squashed because this Royal Rumble is looking hot. Elimination Chamber is looking hot. And even WrestleMania is stacking to possibly blow a little bit of Wrestle Kingdom out of the water. What could AEW bring? We don't know. Their next big pay-per-view seems to be Revolution, where Sting's going to retire. Yay. And everybody's feeding me more, Jake.
I'm thrilled on that one.
I don't want to see Sting retire. He's retiring with AEW. I just don't know if it's going to be big. We really haven't heard who his opponent's going to be. We're not building anything to make it any more interesting. It's a retirement match, and I'm just kind of like, nah.
I noticed that Revolution has been promoted more than World's End ever was.
Well, All In next year in August was promoted way more than World's End. World's End got a week and a half worth of promo and was put together on the last Wednesday before it came out. So, who knows? Who cares? Revolution probably won't be getting any more booking until the last segment. We don't even know what Samoa Joe's going to be doing with the title. With Samoa Joe. Anyways. We won't get deep into that. But Feed Me More Buffoon Boy is out here saying that The Rock blew out the largest social media viewed program with his return, which was originally led by CM Punk, and now Feed Me More Boy, the Feed Me More doofus, thinks he's going to come back and break the record of The Rock with social media views because he's that great, and he's going to go beat up the retarded dumbass, as his words were, of Goldberg. And all I can say is, can I get Goldberg and Sid Vicious teaming up in a tag team in a handicap match against Mr. Nameless one there? That would be great. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Make sure you subscribe. We are on the march to 1,000 this year. We are standing at 197. We need every subscriber you get. Join the Value Wrestling family. Become part of the team. Become part of the family. Be part of what we hope to become one of the fastest growing wrestling podcast streams in the podcast realm. We are here to be contenders, not pretenders. I thank you for being here, along with Mr. Clarke, Mr. Z. We appreciate you. We'll see you next weekend, Sunday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, for your Value Wrestling Weekly Rebound. We are here each and every week, and we appreciate you for being here. And we are going to get out of here, say fair adieu, say goodbye, and adios.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something